say to this story, or do we move on to the next one?
I don't have much to say about this. I simply just say our court system are too slow in Nigeria. That's why we are where we are today. I think the court should reach a decision so that we know that we are done with that chapter and focus on more important national issues to deal with. That's just my conclusion on that issue.
All right, it's here, the leftist. Thank you very much. Well, let's talk about fuel imports. 15% tariff. Nigerians to pay 1 trillion naira extra for petrol yearly. Fuel marketers oppose petrol price increase. Otedola backs Tinubu's 15% tariff amid inflation concerns. I look at you, Mr. Fanimo.
You see,
I look at you.
you recall that the day we were talking about this here with Barrister Asif, all of you were saying no, there will be increase. In fact, a reporter in Punch reported that fuel price is over 1,000 naira, and I said it was a lie. If I were to be the editor of that reporter would not survive it.
But this is what we have now. So Nigerians will pay an additional
Who said
amount.
so?
No, this is the story.
Is it coming from federal government or Dangote?
Let me read the story from the Punch.
Let me know the person that is saying it.
It's a report from the Punch. Nigerians will pay an additional amount of about 1 trillion naira, which is 973.6 billion naira annually, on petrol imports following the federal government's planned introduction of a 15% import tariff on PMS. A price analysis conducted by the Punch showed this. And it says, according to a petrol import trend report obtained from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, reviewed by the Punch newspaper yesterday, Nigeria imported an average of 26.75 million liters of petrol daily between January and September 2025. At a projected import tariff rate of 99.72 naira 72 kobo per liter, as stated in the presidential approval letter for the 15% tariff, the amount that would be spent as tariff for the 26.75 million liters would be about 2.67 billion naira daily.
No. That projection, if I were to be the editor of that reporter, no, I'm serious. If I were to be
this is a projection.
And even as a business editor, when I was business editor, I will ask him, now, this is your projection. What is the level of commitment of internal refiners? And what are they pushing out? Must we import? What is the gain of importing?
He said we have imported so far.
No, I'm not telling you.
What has been imported so far.
That was an import that was done before the introduction of 15%. And 15% is not even immediate. They gave them 30 days window. Do you know why they gave them 30 days window? Anywhere in the world that you are importing from, as at the time of bringing out this policy, you don't require up to 30 days for your vessel to arrive the shores of this country. Because why they gave 30 days is the fact that 18 days is what is projected. But because of transloading on the IC, there are some ships that are big enough that cannot enter the shores of Nigeria. So they have to transload to a smaller ship. Now, you see, sometimes our reporters will ride on the crest of popularity because what people want to hear. I am sure that a Guardian reporter will not write that kind of story.
Let's not compare the papers.
Wait.
I know you worked with the Guardian once, but let's not bring that up here.
No, wait. I know what I'm talking about.
No.
Barrister, you know
these are competing papers.
I don't know.
Compare them.
The only thing
let's not compare.
Thank
you have affinity with Guardian.
What if?
Yes.
If you go to this day now, it's going to be a different report. Now, what we are saying is, import-driven petroleum products was as a result of when Dangote was not refining to capacity. So, whatever 26 million liters per day that was imported at that time was to show up the low level of capacity that Dangote was running out. And you recall that at the start of this year or late last year, when there was a ding-dong, I said Dangote was not ready. Now, Otedola, I want you to listen to the history. Otedola, at the height of diesel imports in this country, was the first to build tank farm. And he also encouraged others, like the late Senator Ofayoba, Sahara Energy, and the rest. They started building tank farm, waiting for import. As a matter of fact, at that time, NNPC was using some of these tank farms to dump their imports for sale.
They are the one that kill an NPC.
Now, there is a new upsurge now. Dangote has come. Dangote's 650,000 refinery capacity.
It has gone beyond that.
No, I said, let's assume that it's 650,000 capacity. For a barrel of crude, you have 154 liters that you can extract. Now, if you multiply 154 liters times 650 barrels, you get 100,000,000 liters of fuel daily. This one has 4,000 CNG power trucks that is ready to deploy nationwide. And let us assume that 33,000 liters is the capacity of each truck. Now multiply 33,000 liters by 4,000 trucks. It is more than enough to service the nation and even export. As we speak, Dangote has started exporting Jet A1, diesel, and petrol. Now, if Dangote alone has surplus to export after saturating, if these people are not going to post a clog in the wheel, why do you have to import? If we produce enough cars in Nigeria, and you now say we are not going to patronize locally made cars. If you now go offshore to import, if they impose 50% tariff on it, if you have the capacity to do it, go ahead and do. Now, if Dangote is ready to supply what we need in Nigeria and still export, anybody that is coming to import to Nigeria, let him come and sell.
Okay.
And then today, if you go to filling station, you also visit filling station, what you look out for is the integrity of that station. Now, customer is king in the filling stations. You look at the integrity of that station, then the pricing, and then quality of the petroleum. So it's a free market now. Government is not regulating anything. If they import and the landing cost is 1,200, and Dangote in-house is selling at 900, it's your choice to either go to 1,200 outlet and abandon 900 liter outlet. That's it.
Unfortunately, it's not like that.
How is it?
These people are importing so that they can collect a subsidy from government. That is where the problem is now. Because if you know you are going to run at a loss, why do you take the risk
of importing?
Yes. Why? You remember here that just this last October, we are to offset 7.7 trillion to NNPC. Is that not true?
And majority of these things are fake papers.
But they did it. That's what I'm telling you here. They said it's because of the subsidy. You see what I'm telling you? So why should you even think of importation in the first place? Not to talk of importing. Only for you to say that we are at a loss. We are not. So that shortfall is what they are going to collect from government. You can see where
they said they wanted to collect 1.35 trillion.
You can see.
And Dangote said it's not going to pay.
You can see.
Dangote said it's not going to pay. This is private business.
So instead of the government to put their foot down and say, look, if you import anything, you're on your own. No.
Okay. Now, there's another information I'd like us to tie into this. The fact that Dangote, Aliko Dangote, the chairman of the Dangote group, I said, look, for the refinery, he wants to open it up, put it on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, 10% shares up for
Federal
grabs.
government has approved him for
While your jewelry has said,
for
look,
stake to
we want to
20%.
yes, they want to increase
Currently, it's
7.6
because of the because you see,
move it up to at
20%
least
stake.
20%.
you can see that man, that the buyer. In fact, I'm disappointed in him.
Why?
Seriously.
Why?
Should you be investing in another person's business? Why can't he repair our
He can
refinery?
invest while he
No. Let
why
him
he
use
tries
that
to-
money and put the refineries into use, so that
The ones that we have put in the refinery,
so
has it benefited us?
that Dangote can have a competition, Mr. Moses. Is that not what you people are
Dangote
trying
will have competition.
let him
Why is coming?
Don't say coming. Bua has come is what I want to hear. NNPC
If
has
NNPC
come.
wants to compete now, do you know equipment for turnaround maintenance is not bought off the shelf.
It's not.
It has to be manufactured.
Hold
So
on.
it will take another 2 years.
Look at since they have been telling you about NNPC and refineries. Look at how long now. What excuse does anybody want to give in the first place? What excuse? Dangote on his own, single-handedly, brought the biggest refinery in the whole world.
Not single-handedly, per se. He had the support of the
With
government.
support of who? But is Dangote we know. Which support?
The
Did
government.
he beg you to support him?
The government support.
What you see what we are talking about. You have your own refinery that are begging for what? Attention. You left it and you now invested in a private business. What does that tell you? No, what excuse do you want to? Did the Dangote put a gun on your neck that you must come and invest in my company? You must help me. Oh. Did he do that? Okay. You deliberately, because in fact, I don't know how to describe government and business. Seriously, a whole refinery, 4 of them, for over 20-30 years now, they have not worked for 1 day, and you are important, and you now want to excuse it for whatever reason. It's not done anywhere.
All right. Echeche Omajebe, please. Go ahead.
I think I want from this perspective. First of all, government remove their hands from the refinery first, because over the years, billions upon billions of dollars to do the so-called, yet we've not gotten anything reasonable from it. I think the existing government refinery should be privatized, sold out, so that we know we are practicing in terms of our refining process. We are purely capitalistic in that. Then for Dangote, a country should not depend on a capitalist. Yes, Dangote is doing great, he's doing a lot. I love what our life should not be dependent on a capitalist. These are not the best set of people to live your economy with. So, especially apart from being a capitalist, is to police the market. I think monopoly is a very bad system. What we should do is that we should encourage other private investors. They should be encouraged. Yes, what should be encouraged? We should have NNPC, their refinery should be privatized. We can't be wasting our nation's money on turnaround maintenance year in, year out. Yet we don't get anything from it. The refinery should be privatized. BOA should be encouraged. Other smaller refineries, modular refineries should be encouraged. So that when Dangote decides to say he wants to shut down supply to Nigerians, we will run to other refineries. There should be competition in the market. Then for the export, I think the 15% tariff that was imposed is really encouraging. I think before now we knew that producing a barrel of crude oil, refining a barrel of crude oil in Nigeria is far more expensive than importing. That's the fact. Because Dangote has come into the market now, you now see that okay, to refine products in Nigeria is a bit cheaper. Encourage importation. That is what the government is doing, and it's totally encouraged. We should discourage importation and concentrate on local production so that our economy, our naira will keep booming. So that unemployment will be reduced. These are things we should concentrate on. Let the they should increase it to 20% tariff. I'm in for that 100%. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let me just read out a few headlines here, and then we'll go to the Natasha story. There's a Natasha story in the papers. But let me just read out this one. Senate receives Tinubu's request for 1.15 trillion naira loan. Now, the Senate The president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yesterday, being Tuesday, sought the approval of the Senate to borrow 1.15 trillion naira from the domestic debt market to finance part of the deficit in the 2025 national budget. And that request was read on the floor of the Senate by Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Now, this is one of, latest borrowing, basically to bridge the funding gap and ensure the full implementation of government programs and projects. That's, how the president put it. To bridge the funding gap and ensure the full implementation of government programs and projects under the 2025 fiscal plan. Okay, I'm giving you the information.
They should not approve this money.
But they will.
Look, they should not, seriously.
But they will.
They should not. They should not. The year is winding down, and you are looking at the 2025 budget. Are you not thinking of 2026? In fact, even 2024 have not finished its life, and you are not borrowing for 2025. I mean, what?
In November.
What is the meaning of all this, for God's sake? Because at times when you think of all this, you ask yourself, is there a difference between Nigerian government and other governments that are working? How do you do this at the tail end of the year? No, seriously, where will you put that money? Because 2025 budget will even run from now till around April, May, from the look of things. So is that when you not start thinking of something you are? So what happened to 2026? Look, Agbabio, stop approving this money. Seriously, if you don't want protest, stop approving this money. You are the one. You are the senior president. Question the one you have borrowed already. Question the one that have borrowed already. If Agbabio, if you truly love Nigeria, question the one the executive have borrowed already. Question it. Let them give you a template on how these monies were spent. And then ask them to go and look for that 210 trillion naira that you people are investigating there. These are issues that you should be talking about, not Natasha.
After President Bukola Saraki left the saddle, have we seen any Senate president question such request? We haven't seen any other question such request.
Question it. So that we know, because nobody checkmate the executive. They just borrow money, use it anyhow. Then later they come again and borrow money because they are very sure that Akpabio will approve it. He already said it. That whatever the executive bring, he will stamp it immediately. Are you helping Nigeria or are you helping the executive? Is that how you were, why you were appointed as the senior president? Is it not to checkmate the executive of what they are doing? Have you done that? No, have you done that, Akpabio? Have you done that?
He will respond to you, don't worry. Barrister. Well, I was hoping we'll touch on that this story. If you'll find it on most dailies, and then from The Guardian, they report it as Natasha, immigration differ on passport seizure. The video came up online. And she went live when her passport was seized from her at the airport, but it was later returned to her. Well, I was hoping we will respond to that, but we are running out of time.
He said it's routine. They said it's routine, and they returned it. So
routine check on a senator. She's a senator. And,
case closed. They returned the passport.
No, it can't be case closed. Why would they even seize her passport in the first instance?
They said it's routine. Why would they withhold
they say
it's routine
check. What kind of routine check?
Maybe there is a glitch in the passport.
Not your property. It belongs to the federal government.
Of course.
It can be withdrawn anytime.
Yes, it can be withdrawn, but in this instance,
that is if there is an infraction.
That's what I'm saying. We need to educate Nigeria.
If there is an infraction, but in this case now, they didn't tell us anything.
She also said that look, it's not the first time. That the other time it happened, it took her calling a high-ranking person before it was given back to her. Why is that happening? And we're talking about a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for goodness sake.
It's just harassment. It will stop. It's harassment. At the end of the day, nothing will come out of it. It's harassment.
All right, Echechi, You have 1 minute to react, and then we'll wrap this up.
Loan. I think every nation takes loan. It's normal. But the fact remains that accountability. Now, before now, Nigeria have been borrowing to pay salaries. Now they claim that they are borrowing for capital projects. One, the Senate has a duty to investigate the loans that the executive have actually taken. Have they actually utilized it for the purpose they claim they took the money for? Number two, on the other side, I think some months ago, the president says we have met our target in terms of revenue generation. Now, that means we are doing excess.
You're meeting your targets
From
in
that
revenue
time to now, we are
generation, and
doing
you're borrowing
meeting your
more.
target.
Your
Yes.
economics is just fantastic.
The point is that
We're out of time.
the point is that
Yeah.
from that time till now,
Yeah.
the government has been generating revenue. So what
Yeah.
are they using those revenue for?
That's the question.
Because we have excess, we have surplus.
Nigerians. Well,
Should
thank you
we
very
go and
much,
borrow again?
Titi, or much of it. We're absolutely out of time on this one, but thank you very much for your
Thank you.
thoughts.